Welcome back everyone to some more F1 My Team, and today we are here for the Japanese Grand Prix. Very excited about this one, guys. As you know, this is my favourite track in Formula 1, so I can't wait to jump into things. And the track has been revamped a little bit this year as well, and it's by far the best quality track on the F1 game. But first of all, if you haven't seen the previous episode, I do recommend you check it out because it was controversial, spicy and exciting. It was Singapore, so go watch it, linked in the top right. But this weekend, as you can see, we did buy in the last episode the build time upgrade on the facility for the powertrain and the chassis, so they're both kind of pending and on the way. We should receive those at the end of this episode. Elsewhere, we do have upgrades this weekend, one for the DRS and one for the control electronics. And also what that means for the progress chart is not a lot of difference. We're still behind both Alpha teams, Alpine and Ferrari, but we're very much now back in that midfield fight. And we also have a major engine upgrade on the way, along with another minor chassis one. So plenty of stuff still coming into the car and improvements the whole way. This weekend the weather forecast is dry, so no rain to be seen, and we jump into action here this weekend and back into the routine. So Friday practice at Japan. I will admit, straight away, I tried many different setups for this one, and I mean many different setups, and nothing seemed to work. There was just an underlying understeery feeling that I couldn't get out of the car. I don't know if it's car related or track related, I don't know what, but it just didn't feel good. So we'll look into that. Maybe some front aerodynamic upgrades are going to be needed for us, but yeah, I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it, and that's a bit of a shame because I love this track, but I couldn't really get the car into the right zone. I'm kind of banking on some track evolution and hoping that for qualifying the track just hits a sweet spot that we can just kind of throw the car around and find a bit of pace. So let's see what happens as you join me at the end of my first push lap in Q1. So here we are, revised livery again this weekend, running a bit more blue on the front and on the kind of main structure of the car. As we make our way through 130R, absolutely flat out, we look for the brake zone, which is the 100-meter board, down to third gear and then tip the nose in, short shift to fourth, aggressive over those curbs, and then not get that traction down, keep a relatively tight line as we get to the finish, and across the line we go. And it's going to be P8 ahead of Russell and Mazepin, behind Ocon and Gasly. Eventually we got shoved down to P18, so multiple cars improved, and currently we're behind our teammates, so we need this lap. And this one, I'm going to commentate it because I love this track. So here we go, setting up the lap. The final chicane, very important to really get that drive to help you pull out of there and really get that top speed along the pit straight, the only DRS zone of the track. Down towards turn 1, which feeds into turn 2. Turn 1 is usually flat at the 50, turn in, and then pick up a late apex for turn 2. Use all the new runoff curb there on the exit as we then flip the car into the S's, and this is where I was really struggling with understeer. I had to really work the fronts, and this is all about momentum and getting that car nicely hooked up through here. Trying to focus on our exit out of here to really maximise the speed up the hill through Dunlop and now into the two Degners. Downshift 1 gear and then down to fourth for Degner 2. Again, using plenty of curbs to make the track as wide as possible up to the hairpin. Straight line braking down to second gear. Again, trying to get that apex quickly back on the throttle. A couple of short shifts out there to really make sure we get some clean traction, which is really important. Then keeping the car super tight to the right. You actually find quite a bit of time by doing that. Into spoon, 50-meter board, 6th gear, down a couple of gears, and then down a 5th for the second part of spoon curve. Back on the throttle, just about keeping it on track limits, using all the runoff curb, and now flat out for about 15 seconds as we go through 130R and prepare the final brake zone. You want to try and brake at 100, bring the car to the left, keep it nice and tight for maximum lap time, and down to third gear, aggressive over the curbs again here, taking a bollard on the way. And important out of this one to really keep the car tight to the right as much as possible. You'll gain at least half a tenth as we cross the line. We improved by half a second. Is it going to be enough though to move us into Q2? The answer is no, unfortunately not. So we just miss out by, to be fair, about a tenth and a half to 2 tenths, not quite close enough. There wasn't a lot more in that, so I don't think Q2 would have been possible. The car feels okay, you know. still a bit understeery. I feel like I'm losing a lot of time in the S's, and that's where the AI are very, very strong in those medium to high speed corners. But still, overall, we out-qualify Lundgaard, and that's the bare minimum for us. We managed to do it by 4/1000ths of a second, so very, very close. But job done for us in qualifying, and it's back to being knocked out in Q1. After the highs of Singapore and getting into Q3, we're back down to reality here in Suzuka. But anyway, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Perez, Carlos Sainz and Vettel, Gasly, Stroll, Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen, Verstappen, Leclerc, Martinez and Russell, Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Lundgaard, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now, I'm not even going to cap, this is going to be straight up honesty. I think we're going to struggle today, even though we're starting from P13. Realistically, this track right now is tailor-made for the AI, and the way they behave in fast corners with the amount of downforce and grip they have, I think we are going to be in for a bit of a rough time today. So, you never know, I might prove myself wrong, but we're going to start the race on the mediums. We're then going to swap to the soft tyres later on. Fuel-wise, I'm going to go 0.1 under, so slightly on the negative. No rain expected in this race, sunny conditions throughout, and in general, I'm feeling positive-ish, but I am realistic in the sense that I'm expecting the AI to be pretty strong. Now, we've gained quite a few places from grid penalties to cars around us, and we're starting P13, so on paper, points look likely, but let's see what happens. Let's hope we can make it work, and let's see if we're fast enough on this medium tyre. Okay, here we go. 5 red lights at Suzuka, and it's lights out, and away we go. Not a great start, not terrible though to say we're on mediums. Russell does get the jump. Gonna try and see if I can fire back around the outside. Just lacking a bit of grip, man. I did touch Russell there. I don't think I got wing damage, but I might be wrong. May have got a hint of wing damage. Trying to fight back against George here, but I just can't quite get the grip. And now Alonso getting involved. Look at Alonso straight around the outside in the Alpine. Just a lot more grip, man. I can't match that level of front end right now. And we've now got Lundgaard behind for company. Looks like everyone's on softs right now. I think I've got wing damage. It feels like it. I need to check. I might be wrong. I mean, the wing is green. Let's pick up to the hairpin. Going to return the favour on Fernando. We did just lightly touch Russell there as we try to edge ahead of the Alpine, but Alonso keeps his nose in, so we're going to have to fight this one out. Up towards Spoon, I'm going to actually let Alonso take this one. We'll just try and see if I can get a nice exit out of here. Just feel like I'm really struggling with the front end to really match the AI. You can see the difference there. Losing half a second to Alonso as we now head down towards 130R. Russell, Alonso side by side. This might be an opportunity for us if we keep it flat out into the Casio triangle. Up the inside of George into here. Going to leave a bit of space on the left. But we're going to get it done and re-overtake the Williams. So end of lap 1, and we've lost 1 place to Fernando Alonso. Let's try and push on here, see if I can find a bit of pace on these tyres. It's looking a little bit complicated right now, I'm not even going to lie guys, we just don't have any pace. The understeer that I have is not great, and if you compare that with the AI's incredible front end, it's a recipe for disaster. I just don't have anything right now to respond. There's not a corner on this track where I can say I'm faster than AI as it stands right now. Back-to-back personal bests, but it's not really that much faster. This is all I've got right now. Gap ahead 3.5. There's the first warning. I just can't get the power down, man. The car, the front end just washes out. And by the way, I've tried a million setups this weekend. I can't fix it with any setup. It's the way it is for us. Just starting to drop Russell now. Gap is nearly 1 second, and we're dropping a few cars further back. But for the cars ahead, the gap is still going up. I was hoping by now we'd start to pull them back a little bit, but it hasn't been the case. I used quite a bit of VRS on that lap just to pull away from Russell. We dipped into the 29s, and we've now dropped Russell out of DRS range. All I can really hope for now is some battles up ahead. Bottas in the pits for Mercedes. Oh, struggling with the back end there. Trying to push. I will say I'm very consistent with my pace, but this is all I've got right now, so yeah, let's see what happens in the second half of the race. More cars in the pits, this time quite a few, as we set another personal best. Lundgaard in.
Christian is in the pits. Christian in the pits.
So Hamilton's already pit and rejoined ahead of us, so Lewis looking pretty decent and in control right now. Ricciardo will be on the back of us very soon. All the AI go for the hard tyre though, so maybe later on the softs we may have a chance, but I personally think the gap to Alonso is too big. It was like 10 seconds. That's too much of a gap to make up, unfortunately, unless maybe a safety car or something comes out. Another personal best, as the final cars are in the pits. Lando's actually going to get out ahead of us, so we're going to be holding up his teammate Ricciardo behind. Let's see, P5 right now. Let's see if I can keep pace. If I can match these guys in the hards, then inevitably I'm running faster than people who were running near me earlier on, so let's see how that goes. Okay, so we've got Stroll in the pits and Perez as well. I thought everyone would have pit by now, but clearly not. Just going to be careful here, don't want to get too close to Perez. He's on cold tyres, but it's amazing how we're up here with these big boys when I'm nowhere near the pace. Ricciardo trying to get by, but the fact there's only one DRS zone makes it quite difficult for the AI to overtake around here. Ricciardo's right on my gearbox, literally a tenth of a second behind. But I'm able to keep him behind, and so far they can't get past. We're doing a good job of keeping them at bay, just using my DRS in the right places and keeping the distance. I don't want to get past, because if I get past by one, they're all going to pass me. We're going to lose so much time, falling through the train, that it's not going to be practical for us. So I'm quite happy just sticking to the plan and doing our own thing right now. As you can see, Ricciardo gets close, but just doesn't quite commit to the move. So we just got to start for one more lap after this. Oh, Ricciardo's pushing this time. He's using a bit of engine mode. I'm going to try and come across into 130R. Second warning for track limits. But I didn't want to lose the position there. Ricciardo kept his engine mode on, and you could see the difference. Luckily, we've actually dropped him a little bit, so we've got a bit of a gap now. We're going to box this lap.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Yep, we're going to confirm that as well.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
Let's do this. Very, very good in lap. On for a personal best right now. We're going to probably be on our own once we pit around nobody. And I think we're just going to be hoping for a safety car or a virtual safety car to get us out of trouble or give us a lifeline this race. We just unfortunately don't have the pace. The AI are too fast, as I suspected and as I feared. Into the pits we go. Right, soft tyres on. We've got a fresh set, so they should be fun to use. Bottas actually pits behind us, so second stop of the race for Valtteri. Alonso goes by, and so does Raikkonen and Leclerc. Front wing change as well for us, so maybe that explains why the pace was off. Maybe we had some light damage. Okay. Interesting.
Go.
So basically, we did the whole first stint with front wing damage. Wow, what a drive in that case. It's going to be close to Lundgaard here.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
There we go. Just ahead of Lundgaard. So now the car should be phenomenal to drive. I was not notified that I had damage. Jeff didn't say anything over the radio. In this game, normally, even with the slightest bit of damage, you get told, but clearly I had nothing. So maybe that explains why I was so far off the pace. Alright, well, bit of a throwaway first stint, but my MFD was fine. It was all green. I had no damage, nothing at all. So let's see if we've got any pace to fight and get anything out of this race. Bottas fastest lap, 26.6. That's absolutely insane. We're going to set a personal best, 27.7. So still 1.1 off. And Bottas has now passed Ocon. I'm still not fast enough though, even though we're a lot quicker on, you know, fresh rubber softs with the front wing fix. The pace just isn't there this weekend.
Okay, some information on Bottas. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Ooh, okay. Yellow flag. Yep, he just completely slowed down. Ocon's going slow as well.
Okay, clear.
I think Ocon got caught up in that, but we managed to get them both. So a 2 for 1. Ocon just, I think, losing momentum. I think he got stuck behind 130R. So we're now P13. Will we get a safety car from Bottas' retirement? That's massive for the championship though. Back-to-back DNS for Bottas. That is absolutely monumental. Let's see what happens here. Will we get a safety car or not? I want to know. Virtual safety car.
Caution, the virtual safety car has just been deployed due to a build-up of debris on the track.
Not ideal, but we get to save a little bit of fuel and just make sure we get that on target. I was struggling to save that last bit.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. There have been further incidents out on the track, so the officials are moving to a full safety car.
Oh boy, okay. Wow. Wow, okay. So the virtual has turned to a full safety car. I saw Sonoda retired as well, so I think Sonoda may have collected Bottas. If I remember, I'll try and get it on a replay for you guys, but this is massive for the race now. What are my tyres like? And not too bad. I do have another fresh set of softs. Do I just take a chance and gamble? We're at the points right now. I'm going to take a chance.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Screw it. We'll just go for it and see what happens. Fresh set of softs in the car, let's get them on and basically push in this final part of the race and see what happens. You never know. We might get lucky, we might get a miracle. I'm going to be stuck behind all the traffic, but everyone's going to be in hard tyre, so I feel like I should have a slight edge. I'm going to get everything locked in, good to go.
Complete, go now.
Okay, so it's going to be P18 for us as we rejoin. Let's see what happens, as hopefully.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Yep, don't worry, Jeff. As I said, hopefully we're ahead of Schumacher, and we are, so let's see. Let's just give it a shot and see what happens. You never know, this might be a great call.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Safety car in this lap already. Very, very late decision, but we're back on the way. Come on, let's try and get Mazepin here straight away. Looks like we're lacking a bit of straight line speed. Yellow flag.
Green flag.
Not sure what that's for, but we're going to get the inside of Mazepin here. That's one down. No idea what that yellow is, man. Blue flags? I don't know, man. Oh, it's Latifi slowing down. Latifi's got an actual issue. Okay. Oh, he's made a mistake. One or the other. I'm not quite sure, but it's going to be another position for free. Oh my god.
Yellow flag.
Ooh. Okay, so Bottas didn't actually retire. Bottas is still in the race, but he's being lapped. That's why there's blue flags. Okay, that was so confusing. Let's try and get Russell. I'm really, really confused. Latifi and Bottas obviously didn't make it in terms of the safety car cut to get unlapped. But we're now P16. We've got past Russell as well. Let's try and get Giovinazzi here and pick another one off. pretty close. I wonder if we can just get the drive out of here. Yes, on the tyres. Look at that. Exactly what we want. We're gonna try and pass maybe Lundgaard as well here. If we use the battery quite a lot, we might be able to get two of them. Around the outside into 130R. We're gonna get the run on our teammate. Up the inside we go. Easy does it. This is working out so far. Let's keep pushing. Gonna have a bit of an overtake up ahead. There could be an opportunity here. Let's stay on board for a second. It's Ferrari and AlphaTauri. Leclerc and Gasly, I think I want to say. Yes, it is. Nothing coming from that for us though, unless we can find something through here. I think Gasly might have wing damage. Yeah, I think Gasly's got wing damage. We need to use that to our advantage to get all of these guys. We don't want Leclerc to get away too much if possible. So we need to try and get by here. Oh, Raikkonen's going for it on Gasly. That's not going to work out. We're going to use that to get the inside of Ocon through Degner 2. Let's see if we can set up Raikkonen for the move. Through the hairpin we go. Nice exit. Good traction through there. Oh, looks like Raikkonen's running some engine mode. He's going to close in on Gasly. Are they going to go for it into Spoon? Up the inside we go. And now Gasly remains. Oh, we almost lose our wing. Alright, go, 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 go. Let's not waste any time. Let's get past Pierre Gasly here.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Okay, P11. We're close to the points. Around the outside of 130 on a go after Leclerc and Alonso. They're going to be struggling with tyres a little bit. This decision might actually pay off for us. This could be a gamble well sought out after. Just like in previous races.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Okay, okay, go, go, go. Let's push, push, push. Personal best, but I'm not really fast enough to really catch Leclerc and Alonso. I need them to battle, and this is it. They're going to battle into one. This is perfect for us, just to lose a bit of time. That's exactly what we need. Another personal best, but the gap isn't really coming down, and Leclerc pulls away so much on this pit straight with DRS and Alonso. It's ridiculous. I need something to happen between them. I'm not going to catch them on pace alone. Oh well, here we go, last lap of the race. We tried it. It didn't quite work out. Hamilton wins again, 25.9 on the last lap. That is insane. P11 for us. We're going to just miss out on points. Some people say, what did we stop? But I wouldn't have made it to the end that easily on tyres. So this just, was a gamble, and it didn't pay off.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Well, there we go then. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Hamilton, though, picks up the win and the fastest lap and makes a massive statement to potentially win an 8th World Championship. Lando Norris P2, Perez P3 on the podium for Red Bull. Ricciardo P4 for McLaren ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, both Astons in the top 6. Sainz, Verstappen, Alonso and Leclerc round out the top 10. We finish in P11 just outside the points. Ocon, Raikkonen, Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Russell, Mazepin, Schumacher, Bottas, Latifi follow us home with Tsunoda out of his home race. Now, before we jump into the standings, overall, I think I've got to say that was a tough one, man. The AI were really, really tough there, I've got to say. And the understeer all weekend long was just unfixable. It just didn't feel right, even with a front wing change. Either way, now though, in the standings, we're still P10. We're still 1 point ahead of Gasly, but now also 1 point ahead of Stroll. And the things are very, very close in that battle for P10. Carlos Sainz as well, not too far behind. Hamilton takes the lead in the championship, 9 points clear of his teammate. Lando moves ahead of Verstappen for P3. In the constructors, we remain in 8th place, but now 7 points adrift of AlphaTauri, as Mercedes, I believe, are 1 race away from mathematically wrapping up the Constructors' Championship. Anyway, that is it for the race here today. We're now going to move into upgrades. Okay, so after the race, our brand new rival, Fernando Alonso, which, by the way, was the easiest option that I had. He outscores us this weekend. Big surprise. Imagine the shock on my face. In terms of acclaim though, no levels up just yet, but still getting very close to that level 13. And dare I say, we're kind of setting up nicely for Season 2 when we may be on level 15 and we can probably add a 3rd sponsor to the team. We get a full payout from all of our sponsors, and gradually the payout is starting to grow on those. And then no damages on my end, but Lundgaard 45k, which is quite a hit. Nonetheless though, a good weekend all round and some decent cash brought in. So we have a 10-day gap until the next race at USA, which I'm not looking forward to, man, because I was not good at that track last year. I'm not expecting any miracles this year, but first and foremost, on the activities tab, we're going to go ahead and do a bit of work. So first and foremost, simulator training for Lundgaard. Next up, attend F1 Esports event. Would be tasty, but I'd rather go for the second driver PR filming. We get a lot more out of it, and it's only 1 day less as well. So elsewhere, we're going to go for a sponsor event for Team Acclaim, and then the final one will be a chassis equipment upgrade, or actually never mind, I can't afford it, so it's going to be a durability team building because the chassis one is 3 days long. So some pretty decent events there. We look at the facilities, of course. We've got the build time, which has arrived for the powertrain, and also for the chassis as well, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and add some more to that. We're going to go for a quality control on the chassis so that upgrades don't foul. And now we're going to move back into the R&D. So right now we've got 2 upgrades on the way. One is major, the other one is minor. We're going to try and add a aerodynamic upgrade possibly to try and compensate. Only if we have any discounts, which we do, on the diffuser refined straight positions. This is for a bit of rear downfall, so let's go for that and get that on the car. Still got 1,000 points left over, and I want to try and get this one here, so let's skip ahead on the simulation. Okay, so this is an interesting one. An employee in the durability department has become the center of a tweet storm after someone misinterpreted one of their statements. We've performed an internal investigation and spoken with their peers and have concluded that it's doubtful that offense was intended. Unfortunately, the social media profile makes it very clear who they work for, and this is starting to affect poorly on the team. How do you want to handle it? Do we fire or do we apologize? Oh, this is difficult. As someone who recently tried to get cancelled, I can relate to this a bit too much. What do we do here? Realistically, I wanted to do some work on the durability. Yeah, it's fine. I think we'll apologise. Listen, I did the exact same thing. I'd look like a bit of a hypocrite if I fired someone after what happened to me, so I'll apologise. Now, the good news is we already got that 500 acclaim back from the events that we actually sorted out in terms of activities, and we now have enough points for level 2 of the control electronics, which I'm very, very happy about. So let's get that on ASAP, and I think we're done now. We can move to the next race in Austin as we've finished all of our work. And there we go then, confirmation, everything is good to go. We're locked in. I'm going to make one more thing before we go, and that is going to be powertrain. We're going to go for quality control level 1 on that as well, because we have 2.1 mil. So there we go, we're looking pretty decent. All 3 departments nicely balanced out. The next step would be resource point generation if possible. But that's going to be it from me here today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content on my channel, which is daily, of course. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen if you have not seen them already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.